Hey guys, welcome to Living in New Hampshire. My name's Cody and I'm a local real estate agent with eXp. In today's video, we're going to compare Florida versus New Hampshire. In the US, there's 9 states that don't have income tax. Out of those are Florida and New Hampshire. While they're similar in certain aspects, they're drastically different in others. The obvious one being size, considering Florida is 7 times larger than New Hampshire with a total area of 65,758 square miles, which makes New Hampshire the 5th smallest by area and the 10th least populated state with just under 1.4 million residents, compared to Florida, which ranks as the 3rd most populated state with nearly 22 million residents. In fact, Florida grew by 212,000 people from July 2020 to July 2021, which was the 2nd fastest growing state behind Texas. So with all this rapid growth, what's drawing people to the Sunshine State? Aside from beautiful weather and a low cost of living, Florida's $1 trillion economy is the 4th largest of any US state and the 16th largest in the world, offering many employment opportunities in tourism, hospitality, agriculture, real estate, and transportation. Despite the strong job market, a large percentage of Florida's population is made up of retirees. In fact, they lead the country just behind Maine with 21.3% of their population over the age of 65. While it's no surprise that many warm climates have a large snowbird population, New Hampshire also made the top 10 with 19.3% of their residents above the age of 65, beating out states such as Arizona, New Mexico, and South Carolina. Although New Hampshire's economy is nowhere near the size of Florida's, one of their fastest growing sectors is the services industry, including healthcare services, business services, engineering and management services, and educational services. Not to mention, the healthcare industry alone employs more than 50,000 people. It's one thing to have a strong job market, but it's also important to consider the cost of housing. Look at a city like San Francisco that has a median household income of $112,000, yet their median home price is just over $1.5 million. While that's an extreme example, both Florida and New Hampshire must have affordable housing since people continue to move there. As with any state, there's sections where home prices are significantly more or less than others. So even though Florida has a median home price of $342,000, it's definitely possible to find property for under $300,000 depending on the city. The same holds true for New Hampshire, despite having a higher median home value of $400,000. Generally, it's easier to find cheaper housing in the western and northern region of the state. However, regardless of where you buy, the state has some of the highest property taxes in the country, just behind New Jersey and Illinois, which means if you owned a home in New Hampshire with an assessed value of $300,000, you'd pay roughly $5,000 per year in property taxes. Whereas a similar home in Florida would be nearly half that amount at just under $3,000. While data can be helpful, one area that it can be misleading is commute time. Although it gives you a general idea of how much time people spend driving, there's so many variables involved like time, location, and other unexpected events. With that in mind, it's interesting that Florida's average commute time is only 1 minute longer than New Hampshire's at 28.4 minutes. Some might say it's because of their massive freeway systems that allow more cars to travel at any given time. While we're on the topic of transportation, let's take a look at the cost of living in each state's largest metropolitan area. In Florida, the largest city is Jacksonville, located on the Atlantic coast at the base of Duval County. Not only is it the most populated city in the South outside of Texas, but it's the 12th most populated city in the US. The population of Jacksonville alone accounts for nearly 68% of New Hampshire's total population. When it comes to cost of living, Jacksonville ranks above the national average in utilities, transportation, and miscellaneous expenses. On the bright side, their cost of housing comes in well below, with a median value of $270,000, compared to New Hampshire's largest city and the most populated city in northern New England. As of the 2020 census, Manchester was home to 115,000 residents. Unlike Jacksonville, they rank above the national average in groceries, utilities, miscellaneous, and housing, with a median home price of $351,000, which is over $80,000 higher than Jacksonville. Now that we have a general idea of both places, let's compare the landscape and weather in each state. As I'm sure most people are aware, Florida is known for their world-class beaches. In fact, they have the 2nd longest coastline in the US, spanning approximately 1,350 miles, not including their many barrier islands. Believe it or not, no matter where you are in the state, you're always within 60 miles of the ocean. While New Hampshire only has 18 miles of coastline, where they really stand out is their selection of mountains. The White Mountains range spans the north-central portion of the state, covering almost a quarter of the state and a small portion of western Maine, including the tallest mountain in the northeastern US, known as Mount Washington. While both states can get very humid during the summer months, with average temperatures in the low 80s during August, by the time December comes around and Florida is still in the 60s and 70s, New Hampshire has dropped all the way down into the 30s, only getting colder as the winter goes on. It's not uncommon to experience lows in the teens and single digits, with some days dropping below 0 degrees. And that wraps up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And as always, if you're thinking about moving to New Hampshire or you just have any questions, I'll leave my contact info in the description below. Thanks for watching.